Hey folks, this is Kalani. The Midnight expansion is finally here, so it's time to level up all of your characters and get them ready for all of the new and returning endgame content coming our way. Leveling in Midnight could be quite different from what you're used to, and there are so many different ways to earn experience from 80 to 90, but it might be worth holding off on certain activities until you're a higher level, or until specific events roll around so you don't miss out on some huge bonuses. So we're going to go over some very useful tips and tricks to make sure you don't get lost, don't miss out on rewards, and we'll show you the different paths that you have for your journey to level 90. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Before you head out on your leveling adventures, there are a few things you can do before early access opens up to streamline your leveling experience and make things a bit faster. To start with, I would encourage you to clean out your bags and your quest log. As we level up, we'll be obtaining all sorts of items, some useful and some not, but your bags are going to get quite full by the time you hit level 90. If you go into this with your bags already half full of junk, you'll need to stop much sooner, sort through your bags to see what you might want to keep or might want to sell, and that's just going to slow everything down. So clean up your bags before you start leveling. The same goes for your quest log. Hunting through a busy quest log to find the one quest you're actually trying to complete is less than ideal, so take a minute or two to go through your quests before you start leveling, see which ones you probably won't go back and finish, and try to go into Midnight with as clean a quest log as possible. If you're looking for a few cheap ways to speed up your leveling, one thing to strongly consider is swapping around a few of your enchants and gems to maximize your speed stat. This simply increases your movement speed so you can get to where you need to be that little bit faster, whether that's running between quest objectives, between quest givers, or really anything else. We are going to be doing a lot of running around while leveling, so speeding that up can have a pretty large impact on your overall leveling speed. The enchants that you're looking for are Scout's March for your boots, Chant of Armored Speed for your braces, and Chant of Burrowing Rapidity for your cloak. Adding all of those up, you'll end up with about an extra 20% movement speed, which is pretty significant for just a handful of enchants. Now you can squeeze out a bit more speed by swapping your gems around. If you equip an elusive blasphemite and one of each color gem, so one amber, one emerald, one onyx, one ruby, and one sapphire, you can get another 10% total movement speed. You can very easily add 6 sockets onto your gear using the jeweler's settings. Just pop 2 on your necklace, 2 on each ring, and you'll have 6 sockets to fully unlock the speed bonus from the meta gem. If you have some spare crafting sparks, you can also craft necklaces or rings at the highest item level available to you to make sure you're not losing out on too much damage as you level up. Now, as for the actual leveling part, there are quite a few pitfalls you will want to avoid if you want to maximize your efficiency while leveling. First up, you'll want to focus on the main campaign story quests first and foremost. These are the quests with the shield icon, and they're the ones that progress the main story and push you through each zone. You can complete as many side quests as you want, but until you work through the campaign quests, you won't be able to move on to the next zone or unlock any important endgame content. Another reason to focus on main story quests is that they usually offer you a lot more experience and better rewards. This is where a lot of your gear upgrades will come from if you didn't do a lot of gearing up at the end of the War Within, and better gear lets you level even faster. So you'll level faster if you focus on the main story quests first, and you won't get sent halfway across the zone to track down someone's lost pet or favourite book. Or at least it happens less often when compared to side quests, and you can always go back and finish those side quests later on. The main story campaign is quite linear to start with. Everyone will start in Eversong Woods and have to progress through that zone before they can move on to the next. After that point, it does open up a bit. You can choose to pursue 3 different quest lines: Arator's Journey, the Zul'Aman Zone storyline, or the Harandar storyline. Once you've completed all 3 of those, you'll be able to move on to the Void Storm, which is the last zone. You can choose whichever path you fancy, but Zul'Aman is probably the most efficient first choice, simply due to how experience dense that zone is. If you're interested in the Haranir allied race, you might want to head down to Harandar first to see what that's all about and complete the required quests as soon as possible. Now, you will run into a bit of a problem if you only complete main story quests. There doesn't seem to be enough experience across the campaign to get you all the way to level 90. At least there wasn't when I last tested this on the beta. I only got to level 88 when I completed the campaign, so you will have to get some experience from other sources, either after you've completed the campaign or as you work through each zone. Thankfully, you don't actually have to hit level 90 to unlock some endgame content. As soon as you are done with the main story campaign, you'll unlock world quests and events, all zone quests will then scale up to your level, and you'll also unlock adventure mode for your alts, so you have a few more options for how to gain experience after the campaign is completed. Now, as you follow through the campaign, you will have to complete some delves and some dungeons to progress. The delves are easy enough to work through, just make sure you pick up the quest at the start of the delve that provides an extra experience bonus if there is one available. For any dungeons that you have to work through, you can queue into them randomly, sign up with some friends, or if you don't want to deal with other players, all of these dungeons can be completed as follower dungeons as well, so you don't have to group up if you don't want to. The campaign will not take you through every dungeon and delve, which means there are some opportunities to earn some extra experience and break up your leveling routine. Almost every delve will have a quest that rewards you with a lot of experience simply for completing that delve for the first time, so doing each delve at least once can be worth your time and effort. That experience reward does scale with level, so if you decide to do some extra delves on your way to level 90, it may be worth holding on to the quest hand-ins until you're in the higher levels of the expansion. Running some extra dungeons can be a good way to break up your leveling experience as well, though if you don't have a dedicated group to plow through the run, dungeons can often be quite a bit slower in terms of experience gains. One exception here is the random dungeon daily bonus. Your first random dungeon each day will give you a big chunk of bonus experience, so it may be worth running one dungeon a day as you level up. Killing any rares that you come across while leveling also isn't a bad idea. They'll give you a good chunk of experience, and they can drop some endgame relevant items like key shards, which you will need if you want to maximize your rewards from delves. You can also earn quite a lot of experience for leveling up your professions. For gathering professions, this is super easy. Mining and herbalism both gain experience whenever they gather a node, so if you plan on running with mining, herbing, or maybe both, make sure you learn those in Silvermoon after the introduction experience and before you head out into Eversong Woods, and then just gather anything you come across. Crafters work a bit differently. Their experience gains will come from crafting recipes for the first time. These first time crafting bonuses include Profession Knowledge, Profession Moxie, and also a big chunk of bonus experience. Now, the experience you can get from professions in total is limited. I think it's about a level and a half total to 2 levels, which means it's usually worth more towards the end of your leveling adventures. So if you plan on leveling up some crafting professions, it may be worth doing that at least a little bit before you hit max level, so you can benefit from that bonus experience. That means you don't have to wait to pick up and level your professions in Midnight. You can chip away at them as you level up, and they'll actually help you on your way to level 90. Now, if you still need some extra experience along the way, there are of course plenty of side quests to complete in each zone, but you might want to save them this time around depending on how you plan to level and if you have early access. Ever since warbands were introduced, side quests have only really been worth doing once. Their main reward is the renown and reputation, and that's what most folks want out of the side quests. You can only get that reward once, on the first character that you complete the side quests on. Renown progress is account-wide now, so really you only have to do each side quest once unless you need the extra experience or you want to complete them multiple times because you really enjoyed them for whatever reason. But because they offer a good chunk of renown and reputation, you might want to hold off on completing side quests until at least Sunday the 1st of March, because the Dark Moon Fair will be back in town, offering up their usual 10% bonus experience and reputation gains buff. That's going to make leveling even faster, which is super nice, so you should make sure you always have that buff while leveling, but the rep bonus will be huge for any one-time rep rewards that you can hold off on, like side quests. This also includes collecting the lore items scattered around, and really any other one-time rep rewards, so I would wait on all of that until you can grab your 10% Dark Moon Fair buff. Now, if you don't have early access, you'll start leveling after the fair arrives, so just make sure you pop by the fair every now and then to keep your buff active. As you level up to 90, you're going to unlock a few new talent points. We'll have 10 new talents spread amongst our 3 talent trees. We get 3 points for the class tree, 3 for the hero talent tree, and 4 for the spec tree. The points for the class tree will earn you some more class-based utility. You don't really have much choice when it comes to the hero talent points, just plop them in where you have space, but for the spec talent tree, you'll probably want to focus on your new Apex talents down at the bottom. You can put 4 talent points total into these new Apex talents, and that oh so conveniently lines up with how many new talent points we'll get, so be sure you spend your points as you level and unlock those new powerful Apex talents. Another very important tip I have for you is to work on one character at a time. You should complete the campaign on your first character before starting on your alts. When you complete the campaign for the first time and unlock adventure mode, that's going to do a few things. Your alt will be able to skip over the introduction quest line and go straight to Silvermoon, which will save you a lot of time. They will also have complete freedom of which zones to complete in which order, and all of the quests will scale to their level, so you can focus on the experienced dense zones and level up faster, or just skip over the zones that you didn't enjoy as much. Your alts will also have world quests available right from the get-go, giving you more options for earning experience in each zone. You should also preferably finish leveling each alt before moving on to the next one due to the stacking experience bonus you get from the Warband Mentors achievement. When you reach level 90 for the first time, you'll earn the Warband Mentors Midnight achievement, which increases all experience your other characters gain by 5%. Each extra character you level up will further increase experience gains for your entire Warband by 5%, stacking up to a max of 25% when you have 5 max level characters. So if you level them one at a time, your subsequent alts will level much faster than if you try to level multiple alts bit by bit. And after you max out that 25% bonus, the rest of your characters will level at light speed. The last tip I have for your alt specifically is that you should log into each alt that you want to level sometime after early access or midnight launch becomes available, and make sure they are in a rested area so they can start accumulating rested experience, which can save you a lot of time when you get around to leveling them later on. And then there is one more bonus you might want to take advantage of, but it is a bit of a double-edged sword. Enabling War Mode will give you a 10% bonus to experience gains, but it opens you up to World PvP. So on one hand, more experience is always nice to speed things up, but the PvP part can slow you down significantly, especially if you are leveling on your own or you happen to be in an area or shard that has a lot of the opposite faction present. Some PvP-focused players actually camp important quest locations or NPCs too, just farming players who try to come through. So this will largely depend on you and how you want to play. Personally, I level with War Mode turned off. I typically end up corpse running more than questing, so it's just much slower overall in my experience, but the buff is there for you if you want to use it. But that's all of our tips and tricks for how to level quickly and efficiently in the Midnight expansion, so that's it for this video. What characters are you going to level first, and will you be rushing to max level to unlock the new endgame options and start gearing up, or are you going to focus on leveling up your alt army first? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.